Okay, should be good. Episode 2, Firestarter, starts now.
Great.
The other day.
Very evocative images they open every single episode on.
First line is, I saw God the other day.
I saw God the other day in fire.
Yeah. And they show an image of fire.
And then this weird...
Yeah. As you're introduced...
Mabase Elementary School, and you see him wearing this weird, like... Hat. It's barely a hat. It's like a waistband for his face.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is where they fully say she's an older girl.
They explain that she should be in high school,
and
that she's just hanging out around.
Yeah. Around elementary school. Which, they say he's in 6th grade.
They're all the younger kids are in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And Haruka has kept the uniform that she stole.
Kept the nurse. Oh my god. Oh, by the way, I did that monologue. Yeah, fuck. I did that intro monologue once for a theater class I had in high school.
Yeah?
Yeah. You have to do a quick one.
And I mean, how much equipment has she stole? Because
it's the light, it's the X-ray.
She has the X-ray light and X-ray machine.
The desk, the chair.
She's just moved a bunch of medical equipment into their home.
Yeah.
And then she has this...
You know what, never mind. That's the only time I think she lies is where she says she's 19.
Oh, that's definitely not true. And then she has this weird...
This scene goes on for so long. Yeah. Patrol officer. And this is a reference to one of the earlier shows where they had Space Patrol. Well, I think it was just called Space Patrol.
Space Patrol.
There, earlier on for Gynex. Where a lot of people for Trigger worked on. And as some people know, they just recently came out with Space Patrol Lilico, which was inspired by Space Patrol.
And also what's amusing is, at this point in the series, you're like, well, that has to be a lie. No, it's still true.
Still true.
Yeah.
And I love they do this. They have this thing to do where they're basically conveying what the audience is probably thinking at the time.
Yeah.
Which is, what the fuck's the robot? What the fuck is like? Yeah. And then they'll go, we're characters in the show. We don't know as more than you do.
Yeah.
Which is a nice play on the thing where they have to have that character that explains everything and just info dumps you or plot dumps you.
And instead
they go, no, why would the characters
Why would we know that?
Yeah. Oh, this is one of my favorite scenes.
Where he deconstructs, what is it?
Eva.
He wrote a book on Eva.
On Eva. He's a little bit sad. I've always wanted to cosplay as Kamon.
And also
because it would be really easy. But I think it's so... just looks like a normal person.
It looks like just a guy.
No one would really get it.
It's just a guy with a ponytail.
Yeah, like a short ponytail.
Who wants to keep talking to you about his magazine.
Yeah,
that's a real guy.
That's a real man. We all know this guy.
This guy exists.
He talks about a failed magazine.
Mm-hmm.
He likes Eva and talks about and defends the movies. And
well, this is...
And his name is also Ian.
This is getting really personal.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, was that all this was? Just to talk about Ian?
He would talk about how he disagree with you on the movie. Maybe that's a commentary track for another time.
With this playing in the background.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole speech was him. There's no real deep philosophical meaning other than he just deconstructs Eva,
and that.
Oh, this is where you introduce the cat, who is also named Takun.
Because
that's the brother's
symbolism.
name,
yeah.
But that's like the sign where you're like, no, there's something wrong with her.
Oh, that she
obsession.
has to keep projecting her affection for this lost person on everything.
On everything.
Yeah.
And this whole episode explores that. That affection.
I mean, she's really, really sad, man.
I know. She calls her Chief, which he gets embarrassed by, because I always assumed it's the nickname she gave the brother.
That could be. Well, I kind of always thought it was maybe what the brother called him.
Call him Naoto?
Yeah.
Could be. Because I feel like it's that specific blush and the way he looks to the side. That I think it's more of supposed to be a romantic thing, and that's how that's why I kind of view it.
It's like
what
her pet
she used
name.
To call the yeah.
Okay, sure. This is such a fun scene, and again, very weird. This weird, one-eyed man.
Yeah. One of the few mistakes in the show, mechanic is spelled wrong. It's supposed to be spelled with one C.
Well, I mean...
Because he does that to herself. No, it's like, it's a pure aesthetic thing. It's not like...
Sure, that means something.
Yeah. Sure, yeah, that's true. No, but I think the director said no, that was like a mistake.
Oh, okay. Also, this very strange thing where they go into... there's no door in or out of that building.
Yeah.
That the only way in and out is through driving through the wall.
Oh, and the wrench is just a Gundam. Because why not?
Yeah, why not? And it becomes magically just another piece of a...
But we can explain this off as she is from outer space, so who...
She has TARDIS technology. She just...
Basically.
Yeah. She magics it up, you know. Oh, yeah, you're right, 2 C's.
Oh, fuck, dude. This scene... This whole sequence is one of my favorite sequences, not only in, like, anime, but probably in any, like, show I've ever watched. I just adore
seeing Mamimi
just follow Conti
around. And how, again, what's also very funny is, like, a lot of the show also involves, like, deifying people that you have elevated above you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, like, she has this character...
in the first shot of the school.
Of the burned down school. She has Conti, who she
returns here.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Which, by the way, they left this shit here for, like, a while.
A
never
long,
cleaned up.
like 7 years at least?
Yeah. It's a while. So, I always view this scene not specifically for Christianity, as a lot of people I've watched this with tend to view it.
Yeah.
I view it as just this kind of religious... Just kind of how people view religion in general, and how, like, they need to have this deity or something.
There's something above them.
Yeah, to look up at.
In the way that Naota has someone above him, she makes Conti into a god.
Yeah,
for her.
Because Taru is gone.
Exactly.
The brother's gone. Her god left her. Like
with Haruka and Aramis.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone has this thing that they have decided, well, this is what I need to aim for in my life, because I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm. That's actually interesting you mention it, because I never viewed Animus as like this god being that Haruko worships.
No,
people think that's what it is. That it's her relationship with it, as we'll find out once the FBI guy comes.
Oh yeah.
I think it's just straight up a bounty. Like, I don't think it's anything more than that to her.
Maybe
because she never really shows affection towards that. She shows the affection towards Naota.
Towards her way of getting what she wants.
Yeah.
I mean, but what's fun about and we should actually see that coming up is that the art style change.
Yeah. Well, by the way, every episode, folks, there's an art style change like that they do for a little bit. They get a guest animator. I should have looked up who the guest animators were in the row. Some of them.
I mean, he did a lot of magazine work, I think. This guy.
Like, she looks so shitty in that.
And what's weird
but
is...
this scene's pretty nice, like, in that animation style.
Talking 4 months... That's an old cat. It's 12 years old. But,
yeah. That's where the statues are.
Oh, he's got safety lights, you know.
Yeah. And of course, she takes that from the video game where you play to worship
the fire god.
Yeah.
And this, so she's completely enamored, and then absolutely everything else in this episode is showing you, oh no, he's just an appliance. There's nothing special about him at all.
Everyone else treats him like
garbage.
Garbage and whatever.
And also, he's weird and vain and shallow like a person, because there's that scene where he's underneath the sink, we'll see in a little bit, where he's just as bad as anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've always liked the look that Grandpa gave towards my Mimi. Every time he looks over Conti's shoulder.
Yeah.
In this scene. Yeah.
They never explicitly say, but the way I always pictured it was, he's mad at her for taking away like time from Tarkon. That could have been focused on baseball, and we get into the baseball episode, the fourth episode. So,
yeah.
Oh man. Oh no. This is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, I love this.
Yeah.
I love this episode so much. Well, I can say that about every episode. So. Yeah, and that's him trying broken pieces.
He's trying to find his
He's vain. He really is. Like,
he's very shy. He's like a bald man.
Yeah.
That's, I feel like, what
yeah,
the
it's very
joke
similar,
is.
where he's trying to just get it all back.
He's trying to glue his hair back together, essentially.
Also, maybe you can view him hiding from him, not hiding the fact that he's a robot, but hiding the fact that he feels bald or inadequate.
He feels shamed of the way he looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, of course, where you find out what actually happened to the school.
And that Nina Mori is actually... She is still projecting a very put-together adult. She seems like the most adult character up to this point.
And we'll get into her whole background next episode.
Yeah.
That episode, I feel like we're going to be talking the most, like, at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where you get the... Like, you've gotten hints before that it's bad.
She's not got a great life.
Yeah.
She's eating...
This is
the
where
giveaway
it's like,
food.
Yeah, and this is where they just hammer it in. No, it's bad. Like, her life is not good. The way it is.
Yeah. She skipped school because people hate her so much, and she is also very, very poor.
Yeah. And she seems to be just alone in this world. Like, no, she doesn't want to go home. She doesn't.
If she has a home to go to.
Yeah, she has a home to go to.
Yeah. And so she just spends her entire life
with the brother of the guy she used to love.
And when she can't have that, she has a cat that she foists this affection on.
Yeah, I believe I read this somewhere. I think it started on IMDb, and I think I traced it to like an interview or something. But I think it's implied every time she lights a cigarette, she goes into the tendency of burning something down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because right after this, you see the shot of a place on fire. I'm like,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is actually a great scene, which you're hearing now 3 voices talk over.
Yeah.
But it's worth... Like, I rewatch this scene over and over because the voices that aren't Nauta telling you information about the video game are interesting voices giving you background on what's actually going on in the real world about the acts of arson and also Mamimi's, like, shitty life.
Yeah.
Good information all... Again, there wasn't enough time for 2 monologues.
No, so there's 3. And to go into the point of it doesn't end.
It's an endless cycle.
There's no end game to this.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, this is the time to say what we were going to say about him, probably.
Yes, the voice of the big fat cat is the director of Eva.
Hideki
Anno.
Hideki Anno.
Also director of Shin Godzilla, for anyone.
And for some reason, his only thing about I'll be in it, but don't put my name.
But don't put my name on it for whatever reason.
Well,
but now everyone, I think every fan of this thing knows.
It's a pretty well known
yeah
fact. I think even people who have if you're just a person who knows things about anime, you're like, oh yeah, he was a cat one time.
Yeah,
and I'm sure he loves that.
Probably does.
And I thought it was cool that he worked under Uzumaki, where before Uzumaki worked under Anno for Gunbuster.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
yeah. Well, this is Uzumaki's baby. Like, this is his. Yeah. I mean, people could probably argue this. I view this as kind of his magnum opus. Like, I think it. This is my personal opinion. I think it's his best work. Like,
oh, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's with a great body of work.
Yeah.
Regardless. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you guys think it's a peace sign?
There's only peace and destruction. There's this notion of she can only find peace once everything is gone.
Okay.
That's my assumption.
So I always kind of viewed it as, because you guys probably know this already, but the peace sign was not originally made to display peace.
Right.
It's supposed to be a man giving up and hanging his arms in desperation.
Oh,
It was just drawn really weirdly because the man's body overlays his legs, so it doesn't look like a person.
Right.
And I kind of view it as kind of just this give up sign.
Oh, it's quitting.
Yeah,
it's quitting.
It's quitting trying to be anything else. Because I think that peace sign is upside down. No, it's right side. Okay.
And then she floats.
But that could be
the lips.
Me. Yeah,
the lips.
But again, that could be me overlooking into it and like.
I mean, it's art. There's no wrong way. There's
sure, as we keep telling you.
Oh, come on, man. That's.
I don't know. Well, because then what if I say, "Oh, this is representative of the anime Berserk," and like when they did the thing.
Oh.
Also, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to talk about the Russian Revolution.
Sure.
The bourgeoisie uprising.
The Reagan administration.
I mean, there's a lot to get into there, with the economic downturn. And so this is the rest of the thing. This is the rest of the thing that we saw in episode 1.
Yeah, this is the rest because his arm's missing. Which is a nice, awesome touch.
And so this one is
just again a real good job to make everything feel connected in this city.
Yeah.
Yep.
This one is a teapot, I think.
I think it's supposed to be like shaped like a teapot. Yeah, because it has a little spout and like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the handle.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. And I like how plastic the animation can get.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the characters feel very concrete and very real. Like, I feel like there's scenes where you see them get hit and you're like, oh, that's horrible. That looked painful. Yeah. And there are scenes where, Haruko's eyes spaz out of her face.
Her face
Yeah.
It's very Western.
It is. It is a very Looney Tunesy.
Yeah. I always view that scene as kind of funny. Like, it's kind of weird. So notice his first thought was Haruko, not Mamimi.
Yes.
This is where we get into the whole conflict of he hasn't forgotten Mamimi yet, but he's starting to think more about Haruko.
He's starting to think more about someone who views... Yeah.
And not worships him, but...
At least views him with his own identity.
Yeah.
Because...
She doesn't know about the brother.
Yeah, she doesn't know about the brother, so...
Yeah.
She has none of that expectation.
Yeah.
Right.
The only reason she called him Taru-kun is because Mamimi called him Taru-kun.
Right. Exactly. And then this weird, again, Evangelion thing. This is really funny.
Yeah, this is really weird. Yeah.
The cat's really bummed out about it too.
And again, this is another scene where I don't know. I don't know if I call it betrayal, but hang on. I just love this. 1, 2. Like, just why the extra flip?
Because I could.
Because it's cool. Shut up.
Fucking boss.
Yeah. Tells her to get back. So there's that moment of loss for her where she again loses another deity or another idol to look up to.
Yes.
But it comes back again to her because he does all this cool stuff and does the very gentle stand back.
Yeah.
That's such a cool shot. Like, it's a cool filter. Oh. Yeah. Man.
Should I not mention how much like a dick that is? Because it's such a dick.
Yeah. Top.
And then fire. A fire again.
Yeah. Well, this whole thing's about fire. Like,
so, like, I feel like that's like what I mentioned about the peace sign. There's a purifying quality of fire. It's getting rid of this past that she's trying to escape from. Mm-hmm.
Because she can't bear to look at it anymore. It has to get away from it.
Yeah.
And there you go. It's the shot of the brother. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then a weird poo joke.
Yeah, and a weird poop joke.
Again, we give you a feeling,
Yeah.
then we undercut.
Give you a very important thing. Yep. No, that's exactly what's supposed to say.
Yep.
Oh, fuck, dude. Another good shot. Like, this is one of those shots where I think it is iconic for a series where they're just standing in front of the fire.
They're beautiful silhouettes.
Yeah. And that's the sign of a good character design where you can look at their silhouettes and you know exactly who they are. Yeah.
Yep.
I love that, the look.
Man, that's a really good shot.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's heavy for a child to say.
for like a
12-year-old.
12-year-old to say.
Yeah. And also that he's now taken a power position.
Yeah.
He's now taken a kind of power position.
Well, he's now gone into that point of maturity where he realizes, no, other people are going through shit.
Yeah.
And like, to be decent, you have to help them out.
Mm-hmm. You
can't focus on yourself like all the time.
You can't just live in your own navel-gazing sadness about your own shit.
Because your friends will then get beat up at school, or something horrible will happen.
Or space will attack.
Yeah.
Space will attack.
It's one of the first, but I think important steps. Yeah. First important steps to becoming, like, or not just an adult, but to become probably a decent human being. Like,
is empathy for others?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey man, I've met people like older than me who have like no empathy for other people.
Only cats.
Yeah.
That's too much of a minefield. I'll just agree with you and not go into yeah.
It was a cat.
Okay, not complete deprivation, but like,
yeah. Who hurt you?
I don't know. It's just, why would they cut me off in traffic? It's like, I feel like they don't think about others.
It's not. It's like I'm going somewhere too, guys.
Yeah, come on. I don't care if your passenger is having a heart attack.
We're all going places.
Oh my god, dude. Okay, so like one time,
don't ever save people.
One time in a science class, right?
Okay.
To get to know us, the TA was like, we're gonna do something different. How about everyone says like a pet peeve they have? Because it's more fun that way. Mm-hmm. And I got into how I hate when people are doing that thing where they're going faster than everyone else on the freeway and are swerving without changing lanes without turning on turn signal.
Yeah.
And I started like, and I didn't plan on doing it, but I could feel my voice getting angrier as I kept saying it. Just because they have somewhere, because their needs are more important than everyone else's in Western. And I heard, as I finished, I just heard someone go, and that's when I knew, yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop now. Yeah, and again, another end credit sequence where the dialogue actually has nothing.
It has nothing to do with what's...
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. It's a fun bit of trivia.
Yeah. So, hang on, before I move on to the third episode, let's keep going. Any other thoughts about episode 2? Sorry.
Well, for 2, I think that the first time I watched it, it was kind of like this feeling of, okay, it is a lot of fire and it is uncomfortable because
it's called Firestarter.
Because my Mimi, because my Mimi's life is not good, and like even the first time watching it, okay, her life sucks, but I didn't know until rewatching it how much it sucked. Mm-hmm. As Ian said, the 3 voices going on. As Naoto explains the game. Yeah,
you have to, because I mean it's buried in there.
Yeah.
But when you hear like the kind, because I think if you listen to that, they do explain like, oh, she comes from a very poor family.
Yeah.
That's why she's eating the giveaway food,
the leftover bread. Yeah.
Yep.
Cameron originally said she came in to buy like the older day bread, but he just gave it like all to her. So she also has a sense of pride, like she can't tell people,
and that's why she lied about having her shoes thrown away. So like she has all these people who are basically comfort to her that are like
that are not her own family.
that are living teddy bears, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like she uses the cat, and she uses Naota
Like some as an escape.
as an escape from her shitty life.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of a teenage thing.
That is a very teenage
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Rather than address these problems, I'm sure they'll be fine.
I'm sure everything will work out.
I'll just ignore it.
That'll be fine.
And that's why she has to take on these idols to
make
worship
it all
and
okay.
follow,
Yeah.
because it gives her something to hold on.
Yeah.
And that's where you kind of get into, I think it's not Christianity specifically, as I don't know why people tend to gravitate towards that. I think it's because it's the first religion people think of.
In the
They
West,
think of
at
symbolism
least. Sure, yeah,
and literature, yeah. But I just view it as religion in general, where people need that thing to hold on to, because that thing can't go wrong.
Oh, it's like
Everything
as
else
long
in
as
their life can go wrong.
As long as that foundation, that pillar, is solid for them.
yeah, they
and
can
they're
hold
like-
on to it.
And they can say, well, everything else, you know what, I can feel okay about everything else in my life
Yeah,
being garbage if this one thing is cool.
yeah.
So
That's why with the brother leaving, she has to call Naota Takun.
Yeah.
The pet name or whatever. And immediately as Takun starts slipping away, he's not gone yet. There is a moment where I think, no, he's gone now from her life. But he's not gone yet, but he's slipping away, and she sees that.
Yeah.
So she immediately just jumps to, then she gets the cat first of all,
Yes.
but then immediately jumps to Kanti as she sees this.
So I think you're right. Once she sees that something in this dynamic could even change, like there's not even anything concrete, but
Yeah.
the threat of something possibly changing again, she's like, well, I'm gonna get at least 5 backups. I need all the support I can get.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah. So anything else for episode 2?
No, that's pretty much it. I think you guys are right when it comes to this
By the way,
idea
I love
of.
Marini. Like, I think she's one of the most in-depth characters.
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
she's fantastic. I was gonna say I absolutely agree with you guys saying of looking above, having someone to look up to. That these characters are looking for someone, whether to strive for, or to impress, or to like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think growing up, you end up dehumanizing by idolizing.
Oh, I mean, that's one way to definitely read it, is like when you're a child, there's a lot of times you look at adults that way.
Yeah.
You look at adults as, I don't know if I'd go as far as deified, but I mean, it's comparable.
They're bigger than you.
It's an authority that you're like, well,
Yeah.
well, they know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about my mom or dad is never worried or confused about things.
Yeah.
They know everything.
Or like you try to do adult, I can do adult things.
Sure,
Yeah.
do a job, drive a car.
It's funny you mention that. It reminds me of a thing Mark Bernardin was talking about, like Famine on Batman. And even he's like, I'm not sure if it's true or anything, but he was at a museum talking with like a curator and all that, and he asked, why do you think kids are like super into dinosaurs? And the curator says, well, I think it's one of the first things a child sees that's bigger than their parents. He's like, I don't know if that's true, because you can see other stuff before dinosaurs.
You can see whales.
Yeah, but yeah, you can see a whale. But he's like, it is a neat idea, this thing where something's bigger than your parents. Like,
Yeah.
Because your parents are supposed to be the end all be all for
Sure.
your life.
Until you get older and you start seeing the cracks.
Until and then you realize, no, they're just a
They're
human
people.
being.
They're
And
people.
Naota has already passed that point.
He knows his dad's a person.
It's like he's
Yeah.
immature and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
And like most of these characters are way past that point.
Yeah.
But I know it's just an interesting idea that I always think about.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, when you mention that, like, going past his father, like, the show also subverts the idea that, like, his grandfather, like, the oldest person, that should be the repository for, like, all knowledge.
Yeah.
And his, like, insight is just kind of, I mean, that's a tough, I was gonna say the most selfish, but he's an incredibly just selfish, horny idiot. There's not a lot of, like...
Yeah. The most
Hopefulness.
Very relatable.
The only thing he teaches Naota in this series that holds any water to him is that Fully Cooley is a sex move.
Yeah. That's the one and the only.
Yeah. It's the only thing he tends to retain, because he's looking at him doing it in the manga scene. So like, Doesn't, I mean, he definitely doesn't take in any of the baseball stuff, as you'll see in like episode 4. So, okay, yeah, end of episode 2, guys.